Hello, everyone. How's it going? I'm so happy to be here. Happy Sunday, happy weekend. I really hope you will find this session useful to you. Um, my name is Anusha Peterson, and I am a storyteller. I am a television producer. I'm a content curator. I am just me. Okay. So I wanted to share with you today my performance, my workshop, my knowledge sharing session. It's called Performing Through the Lens. Okay, now, so I'm going to start by saying I know this sounds very technical. Performing through the lens sounds very technical. However, it's not. It's actually very simple. I think if you think of the lens as a person's face, their eyes, then it'll be very natural to you, right? It's like you sitting down and having a conversation with your friend. Um, or to some, the lens may be a buffer. If you're an introvert, then it's the best way to perform to the world because you are in an isolated space. You don't need to meet people. The lens is the best tool you can use. All right. So, my intention for this session is to give you tips that you may find useful in getting comfortable with the lens. Okay. You would be surprised that most of you already know this. It's just you haven't intentionally applied it. All right. So, hi, Liz. Hi, Kelly. Okay, thank you. I'm great. I'm happy that all my technicalities are working. Uh, it was really scary, doing this. Like, it's like doing live TV shows again, but I'm alone. I have three devices though: my phone, my iPad, and the computer. So it can't get any more digital than this. Okay, so I myself had to get used to speaking to the lens, right? So let me just give you a little background about who I am and what I do. I started off in 2005 in television. My first production was Malaysian Idol. I worked on Malaysian Idol as a production assistant. So my career span in television lasted for 12 years. I still truly consider myself a television producer because I learned so much and I grew as a person, as a human being producing television shows. So I'm so connected to television. However, the world is very different now. The way we communicate and the way we showcase content, the way we present content is so well versed, so out there, right? I had to change my mindset too. So I left television in 2016 to explore new horizons. I have produced concerts since, I've produced other television shows as well, online content, just doing my own things. I have even written my own uh, travel memoir, which until today I'm still learning new things about writing and expressing my thoughts through words. Okay, so yeah, enough about me. Let me get into this workshop immediately. So while researching for the workshop, I stumbled upon this quote by the king of pop, Michael Jackson. Okay, it says, okay, I need to read this also. Okay, so it says, people ask me how I make music. I tell them I just step into it. It's like stepping into a river and joining the flow. Every moment in the river has its song. When I saw this, when I read this, it struck me that it's not just about talent. It's about being comfortable in your environment. Stepping into the river, him finding the songs, it was him being comfortable with his talent, was him being able to express himself, was him being able to perform at his best every single time, right? So the message that it sent to me was that you've got to be comfortable, you've got to be at ease with who you are, your talent, that's what resonates. That's what the external self shows out to everybody out there. Okay? So here we go. A performer is an artist. Both ways. An artist is a performer. Okay? The art of performing is a combination of a person's actions, the IQ, and emotions, the EQ. So it's the IQ and the EQ. So we all know what IQ is. IQ is the knowledge, the intelligence. So the song, the lyrics, your surroundings, knowing what's around you, studying all those things, very technical. Okay, the IQ. And the EQ is you being able to identify and being able to express your emotions. Whether it be you're a dancer, you're a singer, you need to show your heart, if that makes sense. All right? The emotions you feel when performing a song, the emotions you intend to express and share with your audience, the emotions the audience feels when they watch your performance. You see, at the end of the day, it is a two-way relationship. Okay? I'll come back to that at the end. So in order for an artist, for a performer to stay relevant, especially in these days when we're all in our quarantine space, you need a tool to bridge that gap. Okay? And the only way you're going to do it now, especially, is through a lens. The camera that you look at, your phone for the selfies. That's the only way you're going to get your message out into the world, which is exactly what I'm doing now today. Okay, so I put this equation together because it made sense in my head, but it also showed the bigger picture, right? And this is what it is. You've got to understand the lens is the audience that you're looking at. The audience become your potential fans. The fans, when they are attracted to your performance, will give you their heart, and their heart means loyalty. So the lens is actually loyalty. And you're not going to get that if you're not going to give your 100% every time you perform or every time you speak on the through the lens. Okay? So here we go. I have 5 steps in getting comfortable with the lens. First step, guys, are you ready for this? Set your stage. Okay, first impressions count, especially nowadays when you're scrolling. I, I only can use myself as an example. I scroll and only stop at things that I am pleased by with my eyes, with my sight. What looks interesting to me. You know, I'm not going to stop on things that are like, why does it look so dark? But then I'm a technical person, so I'm very different. But this basic step is something that everybody needs to do if you're a performer. Set your stage. So there are 3 basic or important things that you can look into every time you want to set your stage. First things first, and I think this is a very important thing, is that you position your camera right. The camera position, where your lens, where your laptop, where your phone is going to be. So if you've noticed, I'm actually speaking to myself now in this video because I'm looking at myself on the eye level, right? So it doesn't feel like it is any foreign to me because I'm looking at myself. Check myself out, yeah, my hoops are a bit too big. It's okay. It's natural, right? So when you look at yourself and when your camera and your lens is positioned at the eye level, you feel comfortable. You're not looking down, okay? Like if the camera is down and you're looking down, or if the camera is up and you're looking up. Remember, you've got to look at it from the viewer's point of view, not how you think you look, right? You want it to be pleasing to the viewer. Too low or too high is actually very unflattering. I know when we take our selfies, we do the high because then we look skinnier. It applies in pictures, but not in videos because it's so weird. The body proportion is going to look so awkward. Okay. So, and one thing also I feel when it's not positioned on eye level, it's quite insensitive because coming from a production point of view, when you position a camera too high, you make the person look very small, which means you're making the audience feel like they are looking down upon the talent, right? If you position your camera down too low, you make your audience feel like, oh wow, are you a giant? It's either way, if it's for a purpose and if it's like for a skit or acting, it's a different story. But if you're doing a performance or talking, you want it to be as comfortable as possible. So remember, position your camera right, eye level. Second step in setting your stage is yourself, where your body is. How do you position yourself in this picture frame? So now, as you see, I've positioned myself almost in the center and I'm looking straight at the camera, right? In television or in a production background, video production, we look at it as the screen, the frame, and we apply this technique called, we use the 1/3 technique, which is you divide your screen in three. So where you see me now, that I'm in the middle. So there is this side and this side. So I can choose to sit here. I can choose to sit this way and look this way with some looking room, or I can choose to sit here and look with the looking room. Either way, it's up to you and what you feel comfortable for yourself. All right. The next thing within a picture frame is that you need to set your backdrop. What's here? What's here? Look at this. I didn't want to just leave it empty, so I put something here. My flowers, my favorite part of my home, my flowers and my books and my awards. I made sure that was visible. Everything in your backdrop or your background needs to mean something. Okay, when it means something, the audience feels connected to you. So the lens is also looking back at these things, and hopefully somebody says something and you can interact with it. It's not just flat, it has a life. All right. So, very important. That is if your frame and your screen, your phone is horizontal. But if your phone is vertical and if you're doing like an IG video, then put yourself in the middle. No other way about it because you don't want your hands to be cut off or your shoulders or your legs. So just stay in the center and you will be all well and fine. The third thing in setting your stage is lighting. Okay, I know a lot of us have sometimes difficulty in lighting because not everybody can afford professional lights. And I'm not asking you to buy professional lights. Use the most natural thing you can find. What is that? The sun. The sun is the best piece of light that you can ever have. So wherever in your homes that the sun shines in through the windows, position yourself there and try and get the sun shining on your face. No other light can beat that sunlight, okay? But if you're in a restricted place, like now, for instance, it's the evening and the sun is going to set in a little bit. So I chose to draw my curtains so that the light was even because this is called the golden hour from 6 to 7 or 6:15 to 7:15. When the sun is setting, the light changes so quickly, and I didn't want you to suddenly see only half my face. So I've controlled this environment and drawn the curtains and put lights on so that I will be evenly lit. Yeah. But yes, the sun is find a sweet spot where the sun shines and place yourself there. In these days, people have the luxury of buying ring lights, those LED ring lights, the round ones where you can put your phone in the middle. I want one of those. I haven't got to getting it yet, but I will get it. So if you have that, then you are all set. Just put it on a stand right in front of you. Frontal light always works. Okay? So if you're in a night scene, and like I said, even up, if I had a plain backdrop, my background wasn't lit, it's just the white walls, then maybe I'll shine a light here so that I can play around with it. But one thing to always remember is that you must be lit. Okay? Unless you're playing ghost in a scary movie and you don't want to be lit, then it is okay for your face to not be lit. To be honest, it can be a dark room. Nobody cares about the backdrop, but you must be lit. The subject must be lit. Okay? So these are 3 steps in setting your stage that you can use. It will come in very handy, basic steps. There's obviously more, but at this point, I think we just need to get the basics right. Once we know the basics, we can then break the rules, right? Let me give you an example of setting your stage. So in 2011, when I was working in television and we worked on a dance crew competition called Showdown. So the production team, we had a whole new vision of how we saw the show, how the stage was designed, how many people we wanted in the venue needed to be accessible. There were so many things on our vision board. And then we realized there was no venue in Malaysia that was either available within our budget, um, or even right technically for us. So what did we do? We made our own venue. We found a car park in Shah Alam. We approached them and we said, can we build a marquee in this car park? And we built everything from scratch. Our stage, the lights, everything we brought in from scratch. It was actually more cost effective, but it was not just about the cost. It was also about how feasible it would be and how close we could get to our vision board. So it's a lot about how you envision your performance, your surroundings need to represent that feeling. Okay? So you must know that the options are endless. Just use your mind and be creative, and everything will fall into place. All right? Next, step 2. Are you ready for this? Showcase your personality, guys. Isn't that this the easiest thing to do, to showcase your personality? We're all nowadays doing selfies using filters. It's the best generation to do that, right? Okay, so just 2 things here, and this one I cannot comment much because it's really what resonates with you and who you are. You have to figure that out for yourself. Okay, first one is enhancement of your personality. I must say and point out that the lens is very, very, very attracted and very sensitive to movements. Okay, so if I don't move and I'm just moving my finger, you can see that, right? But why would you want to do that? The lens is very sensitive to extreme movements. Wide, open your hands, express how you're feeling. So when you're dancing, when you're singing, when you're performing, make sure every move is visible. This is where your choreography comes in. But remember, you have to feature your best traits and feature the big movements, because you don't want to be tied up and like somebody tie my hand. If somebody said, Anusha, I need to tie your hands and do this performance, I'll say no, because my hands are my performance, right? So remember that. This one you have to figure out if you are an introvert or an extrovert. Extroverts are easy. I sometimes think I'm borderline. I can be both. But today I'll be an extrovert because I need to, right? So I put on that persona and it will come naturally to you as an extrovert. As an introvert, however, one technique that you can use to get comfortable with the lens and in your performance is to find that alter ego. Okay, find that stage persona. You know who has the most famous stage persona? Beyonce. She has Sasha Fierce. Why is that, you ask yourself? Okay, only because the person that she is when she steps on stage, Sasha Fierce, can do all those raunchy movements, can express herself in very different ways, and it's not connected to the person or linked to the mother, daughter, wife that she is at home. So there's a line that is drawn. That's why people say, oh, this person on stage very different, off stage very different. You can't blame them. You've got to understand that it is work for them. It is a talent that is given, but they can't be turned like the switch turned on all the time. It's very tiring. Just like when you watch a comedy or a stand up comedy, if you are laughing 90 minutes of the 90-minute show, isn't that tiring? You need a break. You need time to think. So, same thing. So, if you're an introvert, apply that alter ego, that stage persona, and I think you will be great at it. All right. Next thing is dress your best. I mean, this is the easiest to do. Everybody wants to wear the best clothes, right? You have the license to show off as a performer. Nobody's going to penalize you for that. So, for instance, if I came out today, if I think I felt a little like I was Ronald McDonald, I wore that suit, you can blame me for that. I'm on television. I'm on screen, right? So you have the license. Show off. You must understand that it is a privilege to be able to share your talent with the world, with the audience through the lens. Okay, it's called a performance for a reason. You must also think about the person on the other side of the camera, of the lens. You know, they have invested their time and their money in some situations to watch you. You need to show your best. You need to be on 100% throughout the whole performance. Unfortunately for you, if you're not fit. But yes, you know, use that time wisely. Use it and make sure they want more. Make sure they want to come back, right? So that's all I have for showcase your personality. I'm sure you have more ideas, but that's the basics. Step 3. You ready for this? And I think this is, to be honest, one of the most important things of all these steps, right? This is the IQ part of it. Okay? You need to plan your performance. Every performance, even this talk today, it took me a week to write it out, to rethink it, to write new things, to remove it, to check myself, to record myself, to check again, to fine tune. It's never ending. After a while, you just got to leave it up to faith in God, right? But control as much and of the environment as you can so that you can do what you're meant to be doing at ease. Okay, so design your performance to suit the lens. Don't go over and beyond with the creative concepts, but come back and realize how it's going to be, how this platform, how this video is going to be expressed or showcased to the world or to the audience out there through the lens. Okay, no matter how small or how large the event is, always prepare for your performance. You can ask information from the venue. What is the stage like? How will you be presenting? Do you have a wireless microphone? Do you have a wired microphone? Um, is there many steps walking up stage? Um, can I move a little more here? Can I walk out into the audience? always plan. The production team does not need to be surprised by this, or the people behind the cameras don't need to be surprised by this. They need to be involved so they can help you enhance your performance. Okay? Every show is planned from television to live events, everything. So, in planning, you technically prepare yourself for the best success by eliminating all error. Maybe not all. I mean, you can try your best to eliminate everything. We all know life happens. So, in those situations, you learn from it and then you grow and then you move on to your next one, applying the methods that you have learned and the experiences that you have had. Okay? Everything is calculated. So, when you have assessed and rehearsed over and over again your performance or your speech, you technically have turned on, or your motor skills have kicked in like second nature. We are creatures of habit. So the more we do things, the more it becomes habit, just like driving a car. If you're driving stick and manual, I remember taking my first few classes for driving, and every move was calculated. But the more I drove and the more I'm driving, I don't need to think about it. It's just automatic. Same thing for your performance. You have to do it as many times as you can to make sure that it becomes automated. Everything is like clockwork, because then this will allow you to free your mind as a singer, especially, and as a dancer. Free your mind from all the technicalities of it anymore, and then be able to perform at your highest potential with your emotions. This is exactly what Michael Jackson was talking about earlier in that quote. At ease, you feel like you're one with the river. You feel like you're one with the song, with the environment, with the stage. This only happens when you practice and you repeat your practices and you check yourself and you do that over and over again until it is perfect. Practice makes perfect. Remember that. Okay? So, you know, I will give you an example of what planning does for you. In the beginning of 2019, last year, I had the honor and privilege of producing for Datuk Sri Siti Nurhaliza's tour. We did 3 shows in Singapore, in Jakarta, and in KL. So when I was sitting down and conceptualizing for the show, I realized that I wanted to use an old song. I think it was Purnama Merindu, and add a new flavor into it, into the creative concept of it. So I reached out to a dear friend, Joy Victor, and I said, would you like to be part of this performance? And she brought in herself to be the aerial dancer for this performance. Okay, I saw it because I was inspired by Cirque du Soleil when I was in Las Vegas, I think. You know, all the acrobats and all that. And I wanted to apply that concept within a concert. Malaysia has really never done such things, especially with a such a what is the word? Such a perfect singer like Siti. You know, they've never pushed that boundary yet, because aerial dancing was always associated with being too sexual. You know, your legs are open up in the air, and yeah. But I knew that that was not going to be the case. So in my head, when I planned this, it was a stadium, it was the stage, and then you see this aerial dancer coming down, spotlight on her, like the whole stadium was dark and just Siti and her. It was going to be magical, beautiful. People's attention was going to be looking in that, and it's like the light, it's like the moon, right? And then when we went into the venue, we rehearsed in another sound stage. And when we walked into the venue and we set it up, it was horrible. It was terrible because where in my head I envisioned the aerial hoop to come down was exactly where the camera was for the master shot of the stage, which would mean this aerial dancer is right in the center. Like now you see me covering my face, and then City is blocked. She's blocking City, who is singing on stage. It'll be so awkward. So what we had to do was move her to a different space, re-rig her, replan all those things. Bless the technical people who were doing it. I know they hated me, but it had to be done. If not, the audience would not get the same effect of the vision I had in my head writing it in real life. It would not have translated. But that could only happen if there was rehearsals. If we tried it a gazillion times, up, down, timing needed to be right. She needed to reach this level at this part of the song. She needed to get down by the chorus, and she needed to go back up by the time the song ended. Everything was timed and planned. And it ended up being great because we collectively use all our experiences and our energies and our expertise to make sure that that performance was done right. So that's a clear example of why you need to plan your performance, how much you need to rehearse. Okay. The next thing is I also realized about cameras, the lens, and a performance. While working on So You Think You Can Dance, I learned a very important thing, that a performance live to the audience is one way of performing, but performing through a lens for the audience at home, it's a totally different experience. So as the studio director sat down every time there was a performance, he or she needed to view the choreography first in So You Think You Can Dance example, make sure that he or she cuts the camera, positions the camera in the right angle to capture the best angle for that movement. Because this movement can be captured frontal, can be captured through the side, back shot, from the top. Your creativity, it's endless, right? But it's so important to know that the experience of the person watching live and watching at home through the lens is totally different. We even had instances where the fans would comment and say, "You didn't get that shot. That was not the choreography." Okay, I'm sorry. So it is our duty as the production or as the performer to work together with the production team to make sure that both audiences, the live audience as well as the home audience, gets the full picture, gets the best performance. Okay? So, yes, that's basically planning it. I just repeat that: rehearse your performance, because it's the only way you're going to get it right. And you only have one chance to get it right. Okay? Step four, and I know all of you like this, all you millennials like this. Record yourself on camera. Okay? You have the license to record yourself on camera now. Everybody's on their phones, right? If you're preparing for a performance, record yourself, because this is a good habit to practice. Why? Because when you review your videos, you can find the points of where you did really well, and you need to applaud yourself for that. Sometimes accidents happen and you say, "Whoa, I did that. I like that. Maybe we should do it again," right? But it also allows you to check your mistakes. It also allows you, when you watch it over and over and over again, it allows you to check your mistakes and allows you to change your mistakes. If you don't record yourself, you rely on other people to tell you what they see, which is a good thing as well. But like they say, you are your worst critic. So apply that phrase and check yourself. And then ask the general consensus what everybody thinks in this rehearsal room. And collectively, you find a nice balance in your performance. Okay? But I never thought I'd say this, but in this case, stalk yourself. Rewatch your videos. It's okay to rewatch your videos. We don't have to be shy about that, right? Okay. I know this for a fact, and I've seen it throughout all my years of being in production, of watching concerts, of being able to be behind the scenes. Every good performer, every phenomenal performer does this. They get the ones that have assistants, they get their assistant to set up. When they walk in with their water bottle. As an artist, walk in with your water bottle, your music sheet, your lyrics, or whatever your notes are, and they give their phones to their assistants to set up and record the whole rehearsals. Musicians even do this, they record, they go back, they listen to it. Oh, I played this note wrong. Oh, I think I can play this better. It sounds different. And then they go back the next day and they rehearse and they talk about it. And collectively, they find a balance and then they change it. It's all about fine tuning. If you do not record yourself, if you do not apply this technique, a lot of things will get lost. A lot of great things will get lost. Okay? So, again, I remind you, we as human beings are creatures of habit. This can also be very dangerous because if we keep doing the wrong thing, we think the wrong thing is okay if we don't check ourselves. So then the wrong things become right in our perspective. Is that a good thing? I'm not so sure about that. So when you check yourself, make sure you get onto the right path because then you're doing the right thing. They say it's easier to teach a, a, an, and it's easier to teach and oh, never mind. It's something about the dog and good tricks. I forget now, but you know what it is. So yes, very important to check yourself. How are we doing so far? Everybody good? Is there any comments? Sure. Oh, there's a lot of comments. I'm totally sorry. I didn't scroll. So now that I'm looking, I will get back. I will get back to you on these answers after I finish this because we'll have a bit of time. I've kept some time for question and answers. Okay? And last but not least, I have to say this, and this may be one of the hardest things to do, is make eye contact. Okay, maybe you don't have to open your mouth, but make eye contact. All right? So, so, so important. Okay. You, I think basically this is for your fans. This is for the audience outside, right? Your fans want to feel special when they watch the performance. The performance should take them to an emotional place that they cannot get elsewhere. If not, they will go elsewhere, right? So when you choose to engage with the live audience, with the audience, when you choose to engage with the lens, it's like going into a different dimension. We're so blessed to be in this day and age of digital, this online world where I can sit in the comfort of my own sofa, dress up a little bit. I think I'm speaking to the world because I know I am. Who knows where this video will go? So, by me watching you is by me telling you that I see you. Like Avatar, I see you, right? It's very, very important to make that eye contact. So, if you've noticed, I've been going back and forth by looking at the screen and also looking at my notes. It's okay. It's only natural. I'm not technically equipped here with a teleprompter that it's like I'm reading the news. Oh, it's natural. It's fine. Always remember, though, whenever you look back, reset back your eyes to the screen. Always refresh yourself because If I was the audience and I tune in to watching Anusha speak and she's always looking at her screen, I'll switch off. That connection is not built, it's lost. You cut. It's like somebody just cutting the line, right? So always reset and remember to engage as much as you can. Scientifically, it is proven that oxytocin is a hormone that is produced by the brain when making eye contact. And this encourages social behavior and emotional connections. So, oxytocin gives you love. So, when you look into the lens, you're giving love to the person on the other side, and they will give you the love back. Okay, here's a little something interesting that you can try at home to see if what I'm saying is making sense. Okay, do some research on your own. Try it out, test it out, and see, and tell me afterwards if it worked. Watch 5 videos on mute. You have to mute it. Pick the videos and watch it. Select the ones that have the subject looking to the lens and the ones that are not looking to the lens. Okay. You will see, you will find, and I've tried this as well many times, that even with no sound, when you look into the screen and you look into the audience and you look into the world, you connect better with them, right? Nobody cares about the ones that people look away. So insensitive. So eyes, eyes on yourself, eyes on the screen. Remember that. Okay. This is one thing that I've heard over the years, many times said by many amazing people, professional, the greats in the world, in the entertainment industry especially. You know, they say it's this. It's 20% talent and 80% hard work. May sound painful, but it's true. We all have talents, whether or not you find the talent or you use your talent wisely, whether or not you're even aware of the talent yet. 20% of that. 80% is hard work. When you apply all these steps, you will realize, whew, preparing for this 1 hour workshop took me a week, maybe even more, took me years. Because I'm only able to say this because I have been witness to all these amazing, great people out there who have taught me through my years of experience, through my years of television, all these mentors, these life coaches, my bosses, um, amazing people out there, and their stories have taught me. So I listened, I was a sponge, I absorbed, I kept it in my mind. But it's nothing if I don't use it. It's nothing if I don't make full use of it, exercise it. Okay, so that is very, 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 very important. Okay, so I'm just going to wrap up quickly before I answer or look at the questions, and we'll see how it goes. So post your questions. I hope I can help you. I have maybe around 15 more minutes before I'm done. So if you look at it this way, this is a bit of an overview, a big picture already. Okay, the entertainment industry is a two-way relationship. Okay, it's you performing, you put your best out there, you get the satisfaction that you want, the adrenaline, whatever that satisfies your heart and how happy you become. And the audience on the other side of the lens is entertained, they are appreciative of your effort, and they will potentially be your loyal fan. When you did that eye contact, you hit home run in your heart. Nothing can come back from that. Okay? Nothing can come back from that. We go back to our same friends because we feel comfortable. We love them. We know who they are. The same relationship you're trying to build here just through a lens. If you just apply the techniques, you will get comfortable and you will get better at it. Okay? This is a life cycle for as long as each effort is valued, right? Hey, the entertainment industry is alive because of this. I mean, it's been there forever. It's a concept, it's not rocket science, it's just reality of how we are as human beings. So, your talent is a gift. And by you engaging through your performance and sharing your gift to the world, it's sharing love. It's resonating with life outside of who you are. It's bringing your inner self out into the outer world. The universe will be very happy about that. Do not take this for granted for even a second because each moment will never return. Poof, it just goes away like that. Done. Okay? So let's see. I have one thing that I want to say, but I'll keep it to the end. All right. So can we just see what kind of questions we have? Wow. Guys, this is a lot, huh? Well, let me see. Well, my father is watching. So happy. Hello, Daddy. How are you? Haven't seen you in months. Oh, wow. Hi, Peter. Oh, my gosh. Peter, I'm in the house. Oh, Peter, I worked on So You Think You Can Dance, on Idols. Oh, my goodness. I miss you. Please send my love to Carly. Hello, Jonathan. Oh, wow. I am proud of my father too. Okay, so Barry, we have Joshua. Oh, so kind, lah. You see, I'm such a natural. If only my school teachers taught like this, I would have passed every. At the end of the day, I realized different people resonate with different things, different methods. Some people like the technicality, some people are nerds, right? Some people they like the creativity. So there's no right and wrong. You just got to stick to it and keep to it. Really. Okay. Uh, uh, wow, I have some people here from So You Think Can Dance as well. The dancers are here. Hi, Napi. Wow, Napi, I shot his first profile in Terengganu. I remember my first ever time going to Terengganu. Oh, wow, brought back so many memories. Oh, crazy. Yes, Kelly, ring light can buy from Lazada, very cheap. I'm going to do that soon. Just not been in a mood to shop, but maybe after this I might do that. The dangerous thing about going online is that you buy and you buy and you buy. So that's why I stopped myself. Okay. I'm glad, Deborah, that you find this whole situation with Shopee great. I should not go on Shopee. Unnecessary money. Okay. What else? Um, Hi, Marlene. I'm glad you think these pointers are useful. I was so nervous, thinking, am I overthinking this? Is it too much? Is it too little? Is it too basic? Yeah, but I just said, you know what, Anusha, you've thought about this a gazillion times. Just go and just flow with it. You've done all the research you can do. Just give your best, and then hopefully somebody will resonate. Okay. Wow, Sin, my cousin says that she can use all these tips for her online meetings. That is so true. Petronas will really appreciate you because, come on, especially now being from home, just set up yourself a little better. Like dress up, go to work, set up. I know a friend, shout out to Priya, who works from home, and she packs up her bag in the morning, she goes to work, she sets up her laptop. Goes to work, it literally means from her room, her bathroom to her living room, setting up her laptop. But it's an action to keep yourself sane. But that process also puts you in the right frame of mind. So when I have a stage, I'm a performer. Right as soon as this is done, this is off, makeup off, I'm in my short pants watching TV, right? Different feel. So, yes, Sin, use these steps. I give you the PowerPoint after this to share with Petronas as well. Liz, you same. WWF needs some excitement in their Zoom meetings, okay? Okay. Oh my gosh, I have people from the US. Hello, Charles. I see you. Happy Sunday. I hope you're all well and safe in New York. And I really hope these tips help you as well. Okay. Yes. Barry, you are an inspiration. All your videos really make me encouraged to be myself as well. Nothing wrong with that. Thank you, Janice. I enjoy the advice and apply and it works. Tell me if it works. Um, yes, Elvira, you know this. Recording can definitely improve your performance. And I'm just resonating from what you said yesterday at your class. You said how important it was for you to go on stage, walk up, walk to the left, realize how the sound is in your ear, where you walk on off stage, what you're engaging with, what the light is. You are doing this for yourself, actually, right? Because when you do this for yourself, you feel so comfortable and you're ready for your performance. And then you just leave it up to God. Everything else will just flow. Hello, Godma, you're watching too. Yes. Thank you, Josh. I found the line. Can't teach old dogs new tricks. Ha, I should have wrote that down. I knew it. I'll just go off script. But yes. Thanks, Josh. Okay, everybody's laughing. I forget what I said, but yes, eye contact, very important. You want to build a talk show around me? Are you serious? Well, Oprah is an inspiration. But I heard this podcast the other day, she really did it because she wanted to change the way people thought, people lived, how they applied their lives. And she wanted to allow everybody to just resonate with who their true selves were. And I didn't realize after so many years, I watched Oprah in coming back from school. First thing is I turned on the Oprah Winfrey show. And then I came back and I realized today, like so much of that has influenced my life today. That's why I'm in this woo woo world, awakening situation. I am truly in it awakened because I've put my ego aside, be free, and just live life in the present moment. Like I feel like I'm talking to everybody that's watching. It's just amazing, right? 80-20 rule works. I think Barry seems right. Barry and I should have a show. Let's try this. We take it offline, okay? We practice and then we ta-da people. All right? Okay. Elvira, how would you suggest dealing with an audio visual mistake? Okay. What do you mean by audio visual mistake though? If it's in the screens, there's certain things that you can control to a certain extent and a certain time frame. If you've rehearsed it and it was perfect, but during the show it didn't work, and that happened before to me for City's Yonder Music concert in 2016. We shot I think one of the best videos, black and white, of her family talking, and the sync was off. The video was playing and the audio was a different sync. I just almost cried there. Really almost just cried. The whole show was perfect, but that ruined it for me. But ever since then, I learned to make sure that specific thing is checked. I always ask the LED people, is the sync right? Is the servers okay? Is the cabling too far off? It's something that you can do. If you're singing and you make a mistake, go over it. If it's live and you acknowledge your mistake, you must understand how you acknowledge your mistake. If you make it a joke and you move on, everybody forgot about it, right? Sometimes not even acknowledging it is better because not many people notice it. So you get away with it. Just figure out what works for you or how big the mistake is. the city mistake was big. I didn't know where to put my face. But that was just, a lesson that I will always use for future concerts, right? Okay, think, ayo, my daddy is calling me baby on this chat. Don't tell this to everybody. You tell on my phone lah. Okay. Um, not a glitch, like a life mistake. I know how I make mistakes and go with it, but others deal with it differently. Yes, so that's what I'm saying. You have to understand yourself and how you made that mistake first. If you've made the mistake intentionally, not intentionally, obviously it's unintentionally. My father says, just pretend like it didn't happen and move on. To be honest, I like that answer because if you don't put a spotlight on it, nobody cares. So if you do make a mistake after the 1001 hours of practicing what you've done, that's what I meant earlier. You do your best and you do it to the best of your ability, and everybody's rehearsed it. If it happens, excuse my words, but shit happens. Move on. You learn from it. Just don't put a spotlight on it. Okay? Okay, guys. So before I leave, I just want to remind you and refresh. Okay? Everything that I've said, all these tips, I think you can apply very handily in your own lives, in your own videos, whether it be your home videos or professional people doing bigger shows and tours and all that in the future when we go back to the new normal. Okay. But one thing we must not forget, okay, and that is this: a lens is a gateway to the world. If you apply this in your life, in your process, you will never take it for granted. You will never take the lens for granted again. All right? So, thank you so much for being with me throughout this 57 minutes performing through the lens workshop. I hope you like it. Tell me what you think. Message me anytime on social media. Um, I will be glad to answer any of your questions because all these tips, all this knowledge that I have is things that I have learned from other people, from great people that I have watched throughout my life. It's not something that I have invented. No, it's just me putting things together in perspective for you. All right. I really hoped you enjoyed it. Um, and good luck. I hope to scroll and see exciting looking videos from now on. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend. See you soon.